be going over the use of our data window. The data window is a pretty powerful tool that will help you to sort your information. You can also export lists of zip codes within territories or counties. You can also use it to add demographic data and create territories by. The data window is a thing that looks like a calendar at the top, and when you click on it, it pulls up to information in the map. We have our previously imported customer list, just a list of fake customers, and I've previously color coded those based on a classification column of my imported spreadsheet. If I click the pull down list, I can toggle between different imported spreadsheets, or I could get a list of all the counties, states, and zip codes within the United States. From here, I could, if I wanted to, make all of the symbols the same size, color, and shape. We also do have, if you don't like our symbols, we do have a Manage Custom Symbols, and you can click on that button to bring in your own company logo if you want to show your company locations throughout the nation. This data window is handy if you want to ever filter your information down. So we could sort by things like the sales information or units sold. We could do greater than or less than to find values of sales. We can also sort by state or our classification, so what type of customers we have. To use our data window, we click on this thing that looks like a funnel. When we click on that, the program will look to us to see which field we'd like to classify by or filter by. I'm going to change it from account name, and I'm going to change it to classification because I want to take a look and see all of my house account customers on the map. From the next pull down list, I have different options. I could do equal, not equal, greater than, less than, depending on what type of information we're filtering by. We could do contains, one of, doesn't contain. In this case, I'm just simply choosing equals, and I'm going to type in house account. You just want to make sure that you have everything spelled correctly. We'll click filter, and now our list is sorted down to 27 out of the possible 452. It's not yet reflected on the map, but I'll show you how to do that in one moment. If you have this refined list and you want to export it to a CSV, you click on this button at the end to get that data out. If I want this information reflected on my map, I can come over here and click on my filter data on map button. That will just sort that information on the map for me. I can take it a step further if I wanted to do an additional type of filtering. Click on that funnel again and click add criteria. Now if I wanted to, I can sort by a different piece of information. And so maybe I just want the house accounts within Ohio. So I'll go down to state province, make that equal to my 2-letter code for Ohio, click filter. Now I have 3 out of my 452, and if I click this refresh button, then I am just seeing those 3 house accounts in Ohio. I could then click on this button to export, or I can create what's called a marketing list. Marketing list is this white sheet of paper with 2 arrows, and a marketing list is just a list of points taken from your overall list that you can refer back to later. So I'll click on that button, all locations within the data window, and then we just give it a name. So I'm going to just give it something that makes sense. And then we'll click create. And now we have a subset of points on the left-hand side that's available for us at any time. If I want to remove my filters, I can click on that funnel, delete them, click filter, refresh my filter, and now all those points come back. I also have this house accounts in Ohio that I can refer back to at a later date, and I can change the symbol, and I can make those really big if I wanted to make them stand out. So that's one way that you can use the data window. Next is if we want to start to build territories. In this example, I'm going to pull up my zip code list, and I'm going to enable zip codes in map and data. I'm going to turn off my customer list so that it's not distracting. I'm going to come out to a national level. Let's say that you're kind of starting from scratch with a territory. You know the demographics that mean something to you for building franchises. And so you want to kind of get an idea of where in the United States you want to start looking. You can use the data window for that, and in our data window, we're looking at all the boundary zip codes in the United States. Boundary zip codes are the ones that we kind of grew up with that kind of represent a town, and they can all be filled in with colors. I'm going to use my More Data button in the lower right-hand column to add demographic information to this table. I can click on demographic data from the pull-down list, and then I have all of these different fields at my disposal. I'll just choose population for this example, and I'm going to press the up arrow so that it moves to the left-hand side of my table. I'm also going to remove fields that I don't care about necessarily, that may be redundant. And then let's also choose from our demographic information. Let's choose median household income. There we go. So now we have two fields that we've added to our data set. You can see the population and median household income per zip code. If we wanted a list of all of the boundaries in the United States with this information, we can then click on that button on the end to export it to a CSV. We could also use our filters to concentrate on areas and see maybe zip codes that we could start looking at for our territory. I'm going to just resort these buttons just by clicking on them to try to get see some interesting fields. So let's go by population first with our data window, and I'm going to choose demographic data from the pull down list, and I'm going to do population. This time let's do greater than. So I'm going to do, let's do zip codes greater than 50,000. We'll click filter. Now we have a refined list of 989. We can click filter data on map to see those pockets of the United States that have zip codes over 50,000. Let's take it a step further and go into our data window again. Click add criteria, choose demographic data, and this time let's go down to our median household income. And let's say that we want all the zip codes that have greater than a median household income of 55,000. You can use any of the fields that you want. We click filter data again, and now we're down to 452. I'm going to refresh, and so now all of these zip codes are now reflected on the map. Let's say that these are potential areas that I want to start with, and I want to just create one big territory out of these different zip codes that have been filtered on the map. I can then click this button here in the data window to show all geographies in the data window. Click next and give it a name. So I'm going to just do potential franchise. Now we have one territory with all of the zip codes across the United States. I can see that they're color coded with blue. I could change that if I wanted to right from my data window as well. So I could see my territories listed here. I could change the color to anything that I'd like to make it stand out. I can also go to my zip code list and see my territory listed here. So this would be all of the zip codes that are within this potential franchise area. So these are all of the zip codes across the United States that qualify by meeting those two demographic thresholds. And then if I wanted to, I could export a list of that data. I could also, if I wanted to take it a step further, and if I wanted to start peeling off this greater Los Angeles area, I can use my territory tools that we've gone over in a previous video and just kind of circle around this area with my search tools. I could search for the zip codes, choose to remove them from potential franchise areas, click it again, this binocular tool, query my zip codes again, give it a name, and now I have a list that I'll change the color of. And now I have a list of all of the zip codes in my greater LA region. Once again, this is a subset that's available through my zip codes, and I could later export this information. If you have any questions, please let us know. We're available through phone and through email, and we're glad to help, especially for a scenario like this. We do have a free 30-day trial that's available at mapbusinessonline.com, and have a great day.